Fear and shyness often feel like heavy chains that hold people back from reaching their full potential. They are emotions that can make your heart race, your palms sweat, your thoughts freeze, and your confidence disappear. And yet they are not signs that you are weak. They are not proof that you are broken. They are simply signals from the mind and body that appear when you step into situations that feel uncertain, unfamiliar, or uncomfortable. But the truth is that if you do not learn how to master these signals, they will master you, and they will keep you from speaking when you have something valuable to say. They will keep you from trying when opportunity stands in front of you. They will keep you from growing into the person you dream of becoming. And this is why learning how to defeat fear and shyness is one of the most important journeys you can take in life. Because when you learn to control them instead of letting them control you, you unlock doors that lead to freedom, growth, and success. So how do you begin such a journey? It starts with awareness. You must understand that fear and shyness are natural. Everyone feels them at some time. Even the people who now stand on stages with confidence or lead teams with boldness once felt nervous, once felt insecure, once wondered if they were good enough. The difference is that they chose to face those feelings instead of running from them. They chose to build courage one step at a time, and courage is something you can build too. You begin by telling yourself that fear is not the enemy. Fear is simply a messenger. It says you are stepping into growth. It says you are moving outside your comfort zone. It says you are alive and learning, and once you see fear, not as a danger, but as a game to mind as a power to paralyze you, then you practice exposure, because the more you avoid what scares you, the more it controls you. But the more you face it, little by little, the weaker it becomes. If you are afraid to speak in public, you do not wait until you must give a speech to hundreds. You begin by speaking in a group of 3, then a group of 5, then maybe introducing yourself at a small event, and each time your confidence grows. If you are shy to talk to strangers, you start by greeting one person a day, then asking one question in a shop, then having a small conversation with someone new, and slowly what once felt terrifying begins to feel normal. And this is the secret of growth. It comes from repeated small steps, not from sudden leaps. And as you take these steps, you also prepare, because much of fear comes from not feeling ready. If you are afraid of an interview, you practice answers in front of a mirror. If you are shy to share your ideas, you write them down and rehearse them. If you are nervous before a presentation, you practice your words until they feel natural, and preparation gives you control, and control reduces fear. Then you learn to use your body to calm your mind when fear strikes your heart. Beats fast, your breathing shortens, your voice shakes. But if you slow your breathing, take deep, steady breaths, stand tall with shoulders back, and chin up, your body sends a signal to your brain that says, I am in control. And your brain calms down. And as you practice this, you discover that confidence is not only in the mind, but also in the body. Then you shift your focus, because shyness grows when you focus only on yourself. When your thoughts repeat, what if I look foolish? What if people laugh? What if I fail? But the truth is that people are too busy thinking about themselves to judge you as much as you imagine. So instead of focusing inward, focus outward. Think about what value you can give. Think about the message you want to share. Think about the person you are talking to. And when your mind leaves self-judgment and focuses on purpose, your fear begins to fade. Then you strengthen your mind with positive self-talk, because your brain believes the words you repeat. If you constantly say, I am shy, I am weak, I am not good enough, then your brain will build that identity. But if you say, I am confident, I am growing, I am capable, I am improving, then your brain will accept that new story. So every morning and evening and before every challenge, repeat these truths until they become natural. Then you take action. Because no amount of thinking will remove fear. Only action will. Fear lives in waiting but dies in doing. And every time you act despite fear, you prove to yourself that you can handle it. And the next time becomes easier. Then you accept that fear will never disappear completely. Even confident people feel nervous before big moments, but they accept it and move forward anyway because courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward in spite of fear. So you stop waiting to feel ready and instead step forward with the nerves, with the butterflies, with the uncertainty, knowing that you can carry them and still succeed. And as you keep practicing, you grow stronger, because confidence is a skill, and like any skill, it improves with repetition. The more you practice speaking, introducing yourself, trying new things, the more natural it becomes. And one day you look back and realize that what once felt impossible now feels normal. You also choose your environment wisely, surrounding yourself with supportive people who encourage your growth. Because if you stay among those who criticize you and make you feel small, your fear grows. But if you spend time with those who lift you up, your courage multiplies. And when you face failure, as you surely will, you choose to see it as a teacher, not as the end. Every successful person has failed many times, but they did not let failure define them. They let failure refine them. And you can do the same. Every mistake is a lesson. Every setback is preparation. And every time you rise after falling, fear loses more of its power. Then you practice visualization, because the mind cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined event and a real one. So if you close your eyes and picture yourself standing tall, speaking clearly, smiling confidently, shaking hands firmly, then when the real moment comes, your mind will guide your body to follow that vision. And you also practice gratitude. Because fear often comes from focusing on what you lack, but gratitude reminds you of what you already have. Every night you write down things you are grateful for and small victories you achieved. And this shifts your mind from fear to growth. Then you practice patience, because transformation is not instant. Some days you will feel strong, other days fear will return. But if you stay patient and consistent, the progress will build, and you will see change over time. And you also connect with purpose, because when your purpose is strong enough, fear becomes weak. If you want to grow in your career, build strong relationships, inspire others, or live your best life, you remind yourself of that purpose every time fear whispers to hide, and purpose gives you strength to keep going. And finally, you understand that fear and shyness are not permanent traits. You were not born with them. They were learned, and just as they were learned, they can be unlearned and replaced with confidence, boldness, and freedom. So you begin living differently. You start small conversations with people. You raise your hand in class. You share your opinion in meetings. You take opportunities you once avoided, and each act becomes a stone in the bridge that carries you from fear to freedom. And as time passes, you notice changes. Your heart still beats fast sometimes, but it no longer controls you. Your voice still shakes sometimes, but you speak anyway. Your legs still feel heavy sometimes, but you walk into the room anyway, and people notice the change. They ask how you became confident. Oh, you overcame shyness. And you tell them the truth, that it was not sudden. It was not magic. It was small choices repeated daily. It was choosing courage over comfort again and again. And soon you realize you have become an example to others, proof that change is possible. And this gives you even more strength, because when you inspire others, you also inspire yourself. And as you continue this journey, you face even bigger challenges. Maybe a speech in front of hundreds, maybe leading a team, maybe defending your beliefs, and in those moments, you still feel some nerves. But you welcome them, because they are a sign that you are growing, and you turn the energy of nerves into the power of presence. And when you look back at the person you once were, shy, fearful, silent, you smile with pride, because you chose not to remain there. You chose growth. You chose courage. You chose freedom. And you now live with the knowledge that fear is no longer a chain, but a compass, pointing you to where you need to grow next. And so you continue to step forward into new experiences, new opportunities, new challenges, carrying the lessons that awareness brings, the strength that exposure builds, the control that preparation gives, the calm that breathing creates. The power that positive self-talk develops, the courage that action unlocks, the wisdom that failure teaches, the clarity that visualization provides, the gratitude that shifts perspective, the patience that ensures steady growth, and the purpose that fuels your soul. And with these tools, you know that you can face any fear, overcome any shyness, and live a life that is not small but wide, not silent but bold, not hidden but free. And that is how you finally break the invisible walls, step into your full potential, and become the person you were always meant to be. A person who no longer avoids life, but embraces it. A person who no longer hides in the background, but shines in the light. A person who understands that courage is not about never feeling fear, but about choosing to move through it. And by choosing that path again and again, you prove to yourself and to the world that fear and shyness are not masters but stepping stones on the way to greatness.